I shall pass through this world but once. Any good, therefore, that I can do, or any kindness that I can show to any human being, let me do it now. Let me not defer or neglect it, for I shall not pass this way again. That's one rather beautiful poem, I'm sure you'll agree. Here's another bit of famous writing. Dear people in the world, my name is Brendan Dassey. I am writing to let you know that I am innocent of the rape and murder of Teresa Halbach. I was interrogated by the police when I was 16 years old. The investigators kept telling me over and over they knew I was involved. They also told me if I just said I was involved, they would help me and then I wouldn't get in trouble. I trusted them. I told them a lot of things that weren't true that day. I thought I would go back to school afterwards, but they arrested me. I haven't been free since that day. I've missed out on high school, graduation, and a chance to get a girlfriend or a job. My brothers have gotten married and had children. I wish I could have a family someday too. I am innocent of the rape and murder of Teresa Halbach. Please help me if you can. I was interested to see yesterday, very pleased to see that Barb posted that she went to visit Brendan, complete with Bobby. Let's hope they had some frank and accurate discussions. Let's hope they managed to discuss certain aspects that need to be raised. I remember about over a year ago I once posted about visiting a friend of mine in prison, and simply this was on the Brendan Dassey support page, that it's very unpleasant having to leave them behind. You want to take them with them. And the post was actually approved by Scott Taddick, who agreed with me that it was very difficult. And that's really the only time I've ever had any contact with Scott. It was just a couple of brief messages. Now, here in the UK, we had a series a few years back called Father Ted, very famous. In one episode, particularly funny, there was a character called Pat Mustard, and basically he was a milkman who enjoyed going round and doing what milkmen are allegedly supposed to do when they've got bored housewives that need a little bit of pleasure in their life. So Father Dougal and Father Ted managed to get this Pat Mustard sacked from his job, leaving the problem of who's going to deliver the milk. So Father Dougal is volunteered to deliver the milk. Now, in revenge, Pat Mustard, at losing his job, put a bomb under the milk float, and once Dougal went above 4 miles an hour, the bomb would be activated, and if he dropped below 4 miles an hour, boom. Father Ted, in his panic, contacted other priests, and they came round to the house, and they decided eventually, after several hours, that what they should do is say a mass. Now, I'm not criticising the calling on God to help, but of course that didn't help in any practical manner at all. They then decided to do another mass. They then decided to watch a video. They then decided to get a trailer and a tractor and draw up alongside Dougal and to do another mass. Incidentally, obviously they previously mentioned to him that you need to keep driving at over 4 miles an hour. So as I say, eventually the Father Ted realises that what he needs to do is simply get hold of the brick that Father Jack had since discarded. He'd been treating it as a house pet. He discarded the brick. So Father Ted realised, put the brick on the accelerator, end of problem. Dougal could escape the milk float. A bit of a parody on one of the famous movies. I think it's called Speed. I might be wrong on that. But as I say, the solution to the problem was when the priests got together, say mass. Now, if Steve had not been found guilty, would that have affected the case against Brendan? personally, I think it would have had a huge effect if Kratz had lost the case against Steve. Not that he was going to, because obviously they tainted the jury, but you know, some of the testimony, you know, we're told that witnesses were sworn in and they do the oath, and I'm just wondering what oath they took. Was it that I promised to repeat everything that Ken Kratz and Manitrock Sheriff's Department have told us to say, otherwise we're in big trouble? That's the oath I suspect that they were told to make. And of course, for me, everything changed with the reading and then listening to the phone call between Steve and Barb and Scott Taddick. I'm not 100% sure what Scott meant when he said to Steve, "I'll put you in the ground." But that is a threat that has to be considered seriously. For me, more worryingly, was the statement by Barb that you'll have a dead sister. How is that going to come about? I'm not too sure. I suspect one of three. Either that if things get really bad, she might try and harm herself. Maybe being attacked by somebody with a severe anger management problem. Somebody who accused Steve of ruining his life after claiming that once Steve was found guilty, it was the best day of his life. So I'm not too sure how Steve's and Kathleen Zellner's approach to trying to get Steve released is ruining his life, but clearly that's something that he's that's on his mind. And thirdly, it could be that Barb might suffer an accident at the hands of Manitrock County Sheriff's Officer. I don't know. Now, clearly, some people have not listened to what I've been saying in my videos and simply don't know what it was I said and what was replied to me from Barb. As I say, it was Barb that invited me to ask a question of Bobby. In fact, she invited me to ask questions of Bobby, which was her invite to me. I replied back with, yes, there's one I would like asked, and she said, well, I'll ask him and get back to you. That fact alone, that I'll ask him and get back to you, that to me shows that there is an issue there. As I say, read into that, I think that there is an issue there that needs to be resolved. Now, I would like to say thanks to everyone who has replied and commented. I do read everything. Sometimes, though, I don't reply, and I save, in effect, my comment to that for a future video. And often it's a case of, because of what I've said in the video, I've explained my point of view. I don't always need to reply to a comment. If I've liked the comment, it's because I can see where people are coming from, and it's good because we do end up being more informed about the case. I would just like to answer my own two questions that I raised in my previous video. To the question of did I think that Barb would get back to me? I did not think that Barb would get back to me. I don't know why she made the offer. She did. I took her up on it, but I was not expecting a reply. And in answer to number two, no, I definitely did not think that if there was an answer from Bobby, that it should be sent to me, unless they particularly want me to be some sort of go-between. But no, the person who's clearly investigating this case, often with the help of people that do have sort of certain inside information. This is how investigations work. Kathleen Zellner does have investigators who try and find out facts and things about the case. And in one of Kathleen Zellner's tweets, she said to Barb, "You need to be brave." My my concern is definitely for Barb. Yes, we want the truth. We want Steve and Brendan out, but we do not want any harm to come to Barb. Okay, that's about all I've got to say for now. We'll catch you again sometime soon.